Hi everybody, welcome back. We are doing the next step. We did the red wash and the blue wash, and now I'm going to do a flesh layer on this one, and I'm going to use the what I call 07, which is this one, this color, and we need another bowl. And we are going to add our water and okay, water, and it's half a teaspoon, and then we're going to use, make sure you shake up all your stuff. We're going to use a dot of that, my brush, and we are going to use, get the paint up here, one brush of this color. Alright. And it should be a translucent color. And I don't know if you can see, you probably can't see that color. I'll bring it up. See, it kind of looks like a milky coffee, like big time coffee creamer, coffee with creamer in it. That's the color that I use. And you can use these sponges still if you want. I have several of these ones these are the ones I use for mottling. And you can do it mottling wise, or I just took off a little bit of the edge and left the middle smooth. Yes, I'm all stuffy again. Way fun. I don't think this stuff is ever going to go away. And put your gloves on. See, and I've got red from doing the red yesterday. And if you didn't have gloves on, this would be all over your fingers, on your clothes. I've learned to put an apron on or something so I don't get my shirt ruined. So you're going to do the same thing. I don't know if you can see, it's a little more red around the ears. I don't know, the red, I try to get it to come out even, but sometimes it just doesn't. So I'm just going to, and this is going to be like the same color, at least mine is anyway. It's about the same color as the vinyl is the color that I'm doing. And this is just a flesh layer. And I will put it all over. It's not going to make a huge difference, but as you layer it along, you will. Now this sponge doesn't do well. So you can see the dots. So you have to constantly wipe it. You have to constantly do this. Then those other ones work really good. But you just want to get the water out. And you're going to have to, I got water all over the place. In the ears. All over. And this one is going to leave a little bit of a kind of a texture looking when you pounce it, because these sponges don't soak up. They do, but they don't like this one. Like if I do this one, it pounces it in better. But I'm gonna use this one. And I need a brush to pounce this in the ears, behind the ears, in the creases, because you don't want buildup. That is one thing you do not want. Okay. You don't see a lot of different, you see where it's wet, but you will see it as it builds. It'll look, when you have it in front of you, when you're doing it, you can see, because you had the red and the blue, and then the tan on top of that looks more like a skin tone. So you're going to do this with all the limbs. Everything. Okay? You're going to do it with everything. And this kills my shoulders and arms and stuff, because how I'm holding it. Plus I haven't done it in a while. I haven't made a baby in a little bit. Since before Christmas, I think. No, because I did those little twins. So, January. And you keep flipping it around, because it is water and it does roll around, and you want to get the excess off the sponge, so you do that. Okay. I'm going to take my brush here in a minute and get the nose, mouth. If you have an open mouth, make sure you get it. Just make sure you get all the creases and everything. Behind the ears, in the ears. You don't want buildup. Alright. Okay. I still get stuff in my eyes. And you can see, like I said, you're not going to see a huge difference in it, because it's only one little layer. And if you are painting close to you, like I have some little red dots all over her face from when I did the red yesterday and I didn't get them off from the brush. So that is going to get covered. I got a lot of it off. It's going to look like, they're happy accidents sometimes. They're going to look like little freckles or little capillaries. But not intended. But just because I wasn't being totally careful yesterday, and it'll be alright, because they'll get covered when I do the modeling part of it. see, you can see it all over. And then just pump it in. Alright guys, so go on and finish your limbs, and by the time we get back to the head, it'll be dry, and we will do the next thing. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay guys, now we're gonna do the tedious job of creases. And I've said in the beginning that I use the maroon, and I know that making it too watery, you can't see it. So I make this is a half a teaspoon. I do half of this with the water, with the distilled water, and I add the 1 drop of that, 1 brush of this. So both sides of the brush, and mix it up. Now this, you can see, is a lot thicker. Because I want to be able to see it. So I'm using my thin brush and getting it some on there. We're going to start right here. And put it on there. And I'm going to use a sponge and dab it off. And there's that one. Okay. I will be right back. All right. Let's do, and when I do the head, I tend to do the neck, the creases around the neck first. Then I do a little at a time, because you want to get all the water out, and have another thin brush near you, so if the sponge can't get the water out of the crease, then you can dab it. Now this is the tedious job, and sometimes it takes me 2 days, and sometimes a day. It depends on how much I want to do. And it really depends. And sometimes I get particular on what I'm doing. You don't want to have water in these creases because it looks bad. Okay, and I'll show you in just a minute. Let me get a little bit done here, and I'll show you. I will show you what it looks like. That one does not want to hold color. So sometimes you have to go over it 2, sometimes 3 times for it to show up. Alright, let me get around the back side here. And And this would be a good time for you to have a movie, or I got a DVD player down here that I use, or like right now I'm watching Netflix on my phone. So while I'm doing this, I'm watching a movie, or if there's a how-to video I want to watch, I can do that. Alright, so here you go. See? And don't worry about it when you pounce it with this, with the sponge, it's gonna kind of bring it up over the creases a little bit, and that's okay. From what I've noticed with other people, when they do it, it kind of like, it looks like it like, I don't know, it kind of bleeds either way. And it's supposed to look like that because when you're doing your other layers, it's going to look more natural. And it'll look better. Okay. And usually with the creases with the sponge, I will do keep an end that I've ripped off. I will keep an end and do that. And a dry, thin brush. So if I have to wipe it, I can. And because you're going to use this color again when we do the depth stuff, when we do like inside the ears and stuff, I use the same color. Now I do go behind the ears. So I don't know if anybody else does that. I don't know, but I do, because if you don't, then it's going to look like clear, you know, and I want it to blend in, so I will do behind the ears. And I'll show you in just a minute. This needs more. I don't know if you can tell. You can tell a little bit in there, especially compared to the other side. It's more red. And you just want it to have kind of like a hint right there, you know. So I usually do the neck and the ears first, and then I will do the front of the face. She's got a lot of wrinkles, so that's gonna take a little bit. And then I will move on to the hands and the feet. I usually just do the big creases, you know, the deep ones. I don't usually do the little teeny ones, unless you think it's gonna add something. Like her little mouth here has creases in it, and this is where I will do like the first things on the mouth, and I will do the little things on the lips. She has a lot of little lines, and it's just gonna add. And she's got an open mouth, so when you paint the inside of her mouth, like I'll go in here now with this red and do the tongue to get it started. with the deep red layer. And get the inside, because it's hard to pounce that off in there. And I'll show you just a sec. See, and it looks kind of cruddy, but once you get the other layers and everything on it, it looks good. It ends up coming out good. You want to do around the nose. Do around the nose. And this is where sometimes I use the brush because I can't get in there with the sponge. And then the nostrils, I just take a glob on the brush and put it inside there a couple times on either side. And it makes it darker in there, and I'll leave that in there for a little bit, and then I will take it out with a brush. There's a lot of tedious work, and I know a lot of artists don't like to do creases, and some of them don't. They don't do them at all. I happen to like creases because it's what adds dimension to the doll. And around her nose. See, around her nose. We did the inside her nose, so we need to get that out. Get that excess out. And it just soaks up into the brush because it's water. And if you get it on the outside of the nose, you're just going to dab it, and it's going to make the nose red, which you want to do anyway. So, see, we got that out. We got around the nose, see, around her nose on either side. Now we're going to, you want to make sure you mix up your paint too as you go. And we're going to do this big, huge crease right across her nose. And in front of her eye, there's wrinkles. And we're going to pounce that off. Try to anyway. Like I said, sometimes you may have to use a brush. Like I can't get all that out. So I'm gonna, and I just take the brush and just, because I got most of it off, and I just swipe it where I want it. Swipe it down where I want it. See, we did that one. And there's a little something on the nose. Okay, now we're gonna do, she's got like some little creases, and the big, because she's got closed eyes, I will go through and do her closed eye area pretty deep a couple of times. See how dark it is now compared to the other one, but that's too much in there. So I will take my brush and sweep that along. See? A lot better. It's not as And then we got these little big, deep crease right here. And there's a couple of little ones we'll just kind of squirt up. And you're just going to dab it. You don't want to wipe. You want to dab. Okay? Don't wipe. Alright. And I'll show you one side versus the other side here. Okay. See, this side has, but see, she still has some deep stuff right here. I didn't do a lot of red in. At least it doesn't look it on the screen, so I'm gonna go through again. I mean, it's up to you how you want it to look. You know, if you don't want it to look like in depth, then don't do it. See, compared to this side has nothing. And this is where the baby starts to come alive a little bit, is when you do creases. At least that's what I see when I do them. It's like, oh, it looks like a girl. Or, oh, it's definitely a boy. You know, that's how I end up figuring out what way is when I start painting. Other than what the kit actually looks like. Sometimes I'll get a kit and I have no idea. It has a girl's name to it, but that doesn't mean that you're going to do it as a girl. You know? Alright, I want to. This again, this again, this again, this again. Now, because she has closed eyes, when we get to the purple, I put purple on the eyelids here. So here you go, where she's got her, hopefully you can see her red that I've done everywhere. I mean, close up, it looks good. And you're going to do creases again when you add more color. Like we just did 2 washes, that's it. So she's going to look really red. And, okay, we got a line under here that I missed. And like I said, sometimes I do it 2 or 3 times. That's why it takes so long. Okay, what else do we got? I don't use, sometimes I'll take a little bit of this because she has that, you can see that, I can't remember what it's called, the soft spot. And I'll do like a little cross right here and just kind of blend it. Because if I decide to leave her bald, I want to put a little bit of water right there because it's not mixing very well. Especially red. You want to blend it. See, I did a little bit of red right there. I made a cross right here. So here's her face. We did her ear. Hopefully you can see. We did her neck underneath. And I'll probably end up doing the ears again. we're done with her face. That is it for her face. Now, an arm has quite a few. I'm going to do right here. You see that right here? The deep creases, the bend of the elbow right here. But see how she has these other little creases right here? You could choose to do those or not, okay? And then the wrist, around the wrist, and inside the hands and between the fingers. You want to really make sure that you get the water out of that, okay, when you do that. So, I am going to do the arm. It's going to take a while. It's probably going to be, probably an hour, about an hour. And this is already 18 minutes. So when I get it done, I'll be back to show you what it looks like. So you're going to just figure out which ones you want to do, especially, at least the deep ones. The little ones like on the knuckles, you're going to do those if they're enhanced. These ones are enhanced. Sometimes they're not enhanced enough, but you want to do that. And I sound horrible. My nose is all stuffy. I apologize. So I'm going to finish doing those, and then I'll be back. Okay? We're already at 20 minutes. So. Okay. We are done with creases, and it was about an hour to do, something like that. So let me show you. There's the face. You saw the face. And the neck. Okay. This hand, I don't know if you can see it very well. There we go. This hand. Okay. This hand. And then I have to get some water in there. I didn't notice that. Okay, little hand. That one. And then the leg. It's the bottom of the foot. See, she's got a ton of creases right in here and everything, and I only did some of them, not all of them. So you don't need to do all of them, you just need to do the deep ones. Here's this foot. And this foot is going to be like a red anyway, so it's going to blend in. It looks awful right now, but it's gonna look good after the fact. All right, there's creases. So that is part 2, guys. And then part 3, I don't know how many parts this is going to be. It depends how long it takes for stuff. And make sure you rinse your brushes. And next is bluing. So that blue that you had, so hopefully you still have it. If not, we're going to have to make some. And that's the next part. So, and then we'll go from there. So anyway, thanks guys, and we will see you with the next one.